Hello, and welcome to Have At Us, Reviews for Your Pleasure, where we share our honest thoughts, opinions, feelings, and often hot takes. I am Joshua.
I'm Nietzsche.
This is episode 31, Pandapocalypse. We will be talking about Turning Red, the Disney film that came out in 2022. We will be spoiling this. Before we begin, we invite you to Have At Us.
We're on all the social media. That's down in the description. Alright, let's get to it. Let's begin. I know you had very positive impressions about this film. You were telling me all about how much you really wanted to see this film. And so now we watched it, and now I need to hear that you're giving this movie a 11 out of 10.
I had no interest in seeing this film, and I walked away thinking my life would not have changed if I had not seen this film or seen, this film it's fine, I guess. It's not really good. It's not really bad. It has a couple decent moments, several moments that I didn't really enjoy at all, and I was glad it was over when it was over.
I don't know that there were any moments that I was like, wow, this sucks. There were a lot of uninteresting moments. I more or less agree with that take on this film, except I thought it looked decent. I thought the trailers made it look fine. But then it was kind of weird, a lot. And it knew what it wanted to be, and I feel like everything fit into it. Except the ending. It did not stick the ending.
The ending it tried to be a little too much of a sob story kind of at the end. It didn't really work for me. My biggest issue, though, it's the opening. It's the first, 5 minutes. It just hammers you with this character. And my first impression in those first 5 minutes was like, what am I watching? Please tell me this movie is not like this the entire time. Thankfully, it wasn't. But that was a bad intro to this film. I did not like that at all.
I don't think it was a bad intro, and it fits thematically with kind of how they wanted to play things, because they wanted to just tell you a bunch of things directly to the audience for some weird reason. I don't really know why they chose that format for this. It works because they consistently did it, but it doesn't really generally work in children's movies. Children don't really care for you to talk to them. They just want to see something cool and fun. I feel like I'm not really connected to this person very often. But from my understanding, this is like the Deadpool system, right? We're doing like a breaking the fourth wall type thing.
I mean, it was breaking the fourth wall, but it was also a bad introduction to this character.
It was weird. It's weird because it doesn't quite work with all the scenes that happen. Because later they're like, oh, you're so cool and rebellious and you gotta keep that. And I'm like, she seems kind of like, she's the ringleader of her little gang that nobody messes with. She's not rebellious to her mother. She's also 13. Growing up in a very strict, very racially stereotyped Asian household. If this girl disobeyed her mother, I'd be impressed.
It'd be pretty crazy. That doesn't seem like a mother you want to disobey.
No, she'd just be so disappointed and sad.
Oh, it'd be terrible.
All her hopes and dreams would be crushed.
I'll tell you what, I like that it was in Canada. I don't feel like I see a lot of films that take place in Canada. So that's kind of cool. You get to see the maple leaf flag hanging around all over the place. It's kind of a nice change of scenery. I like that. Though honestly, if this was San Francisco, it'd feel the same probably, so.
The problem is, we associate Canada as cold sadness, and this wasn't cold at any point, right? It was sun shining and goodness, and I'm like, is this...
Yeah, I'm
this
sure...
only takes place in the summer?
Yeah, I don't think the Canadians even know what sunshine is.
They probably don't.
Yeah.
If you are Canadian and you actually understand what we're saying right now, you put that in the comments. You show us that you are not living in snowy sadness. You can put a picture in there, too.
Yeah.
Show us real Canada, especially if you're from Toronto.
The best place.
I can't name very many cities in Canada. They said Toronto, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Canada, but I wasn't positive.
Ontario, Vancouver, Toronto, Regina, Ottawa.
That's the one I was thinking of.
I'm struggling.
I was like, Ottawa. You said that, and I was like, that. I was really struggling. Banff, or whatever. That's a big tourist spot. It's not a very big city.
Yeah, I'm struggling at this point.
Anyway, we're really nicely off topic. The Canadians hate us, but that's okay. You can help correct our poor, misinformed selves here. But back to that. It was interesting that it took place in Canada. It was different, except that, visually, it really wasn't different. Factually, that's neat, but visually, it's not that neat.
It makes sense. The director, Domi Shi,
Mhm.
I think that's how you say it. She is Chinese-Canadian, so it was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Also, the first Pixar film to be directed by a woman.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool, I guess. You know what else I hated?
What else did you hate?
The teeth.
Oh, the weird center part?
Their whole mouths and the teeth and everything about it on all the characters was really bothering me.
I was just confused because normal people, right? You have your front teeth are generally out there, they're a little longer,
Mm-hmm.
right? But everybody's teeth was the opposite. It just had this weird curved up thing, and then they had the gap going on, and I was just so confused about their teeth. I will give you, I noticed it, and I agree. It was bad. It was weird.
It was bothering me for a long time. I was just like, what is happening? The braces thing was also a little weird to me, because in my mind, braces go across the entire row of teeth. But it was just like 4 teeth that had the braces on it.
It's a style, and I need you to know that and figure that out.
And
You
I
wanna get
just thought it
yourself
was stupid.
Some 4 teeth braces?
For a while there, I was thinking it was just the top teeth that had it, and then now I don't even remember if it was just the top or the bottom.
Oh, I wasn't paying that much attention to it.
The design, it wasn't working for me very, very much.
Visually, I think this film suffers a lot outside of pandas.
Yeah, it's the pandas are pretty good looking, thankfully, but the rest,
I just don't feel like people looked consistent, and I think maybe that was intentional to, like, you know, diversity and people are different. But, like, I don't understand how you had, like, 13-year-old giant girl, and then you had, like, 13-year-old who looked like she was 5 and had the weird voice pattern going on. And I was just like, I don't know what's happening right now.
are you talking about the one in purple?
Yeah, the purple girl. What's her name?
Abby.
Abby. I don't know how I should not know any of their names because they got their own cool intro and screen and it was written out.
It's because they're forgettable.
I don't remember any of them. I tried. I was like, I probably won't.
Yeah, I wrote down their names, and then I wrote down green girl, yellow girl, purple girl. That's how I could distinguish them.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah, Abby and, like, what's green girl?
Green girl, Miriam.
Miriam. They just, like, they look totally different ages.
They do.
That was weird. Faces were really structured, really weird a lot of times. I don't know. Visually, I really wasn't having it except for the pandas. I liked the pandas.
Pandas look good. Other people, not so much. I wasn't too bothered by mom and dad. I thought, yeah, they're fine.
I just don't know why he had, like, a long horse face. And she's, like, the roundest face you could possibly imagine. Like, perfect circle.
He did have a long face, and it was like, alright. It was fine.
But he's basically irrelevant for so long.
I know.
And I thought that's how that was going to go. I was like, he's going to say basically nothing, and he's going to come in and save the day for her, for May.
It was either going to be that or he was just going to be irrelevant. And we got the first option. It was fairly predictable. I mean, whatever. He wasn't that important to the story, really. But you know who was important to the story?
Let's hear it.
My good friend Devin.
Devin is an attractive 17-year-old man, let me tell you. I guess he's a boy. He's not a man.
His eyes
looked like he was mentally challenged. I'm telling you, there's probably a nicer way I could say that. But I'm going to tell you, that's exactly what they kind of like did a weird roll, and they were just kind of sunk down, and he was either higher than a kite at all times, which is believable. He works in a convenience store at 17.
Yeah.
Or he had some mental problems. I'm just telling you.
It was funny because May, our good friend May, she thought Devin was, she's drawing pictures of him as a mermaid, so she's thinking he's pretty hot. Then she kind of liked the look of this, like, emo kid that was at school. And then she also liked all the guys in the boy band. And I'm like, there is no consistency to your taste. But I also felt like, I felt like that's pretty true to a 13-year-old. That's fair.
I don't know. I don't feel like there had to be consistency. I don't know that everybody's tastes are always consistent. I feel like I have a pretty set, like, this is attractive. But then there's, like, things on, like, the opposite side that if they're in the right setting, it can work, right? It can look good.
You have a checklist of one box.
Okay,
Does he have glasses?
It's an important box, okay? Don't be shaming my one box system here. There are other preferences besides glasses, but glasses is importance of 1, 2, and 3. So
Yeah.
you know, after that there are other options, but we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah. Now, Fort Town.
Fort Town.
They have 5 members.
I just moved on. Like, I saw it and I moved on, and then you made the comment, and then her mother made the comment right after, and I was like, that's pretty funny.
I felt like I connected with the mother a little bit, because there was a couple times where I was like, oh, this, and then she brought it up, and I'm like, oh, look at that. You have a head on your shoulder. Well, sometimes you have a head on your shoulders. You're making some other questionable decisions, and your stalking skills are something else. But the 4-town 5-member boy band, I wasn't liking that a lot.
I didn't enjoy it, but I can appreciate that it felt like it was a boy band.
It did feel like a boy band.
The songs were boy band songs.
They weren't good boy band songs, but they felt like they were.
Name me a good boy band song.
I want it that way.
Basically what these songs sound like.
These suck compared to that.
Okay, that's not even true. They're on the same exact level.
No.
I don't know what to tell you right now. You're wrong. And you want to know why you're wrong? Because you're a heathen.
I am a heathen. That's true.
But the boy band kids, they looked right. They looked like boy band kids.
Oh, they looked right.
The whole thing
The get up, their angel wings when they're performing was pretty funny. I like that.
Yeah, it all worked on that front. It worked in the film, and it worked to its target audience, I feel like. Which we are far from. But yeah, it wasn't fun to listen to their songs or whatever. And
how did you feel about them? The girls would oftentimes go like doughy-eyed.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like that design? Like, because it's like a clear shift of like character design and when that happened.
It felt very much like you took some anime inspiration and you were trying to do that, but because the rest of the visuals don't match that, it was really kind of jarring.
It was odd. And then you get like the kittens that just had those eyes. I thought that was kind of funny.
I mean, the kittens were nothing but eyeballs, I felt like.
I also wondered where he got these cats. Did he just go steal them?
Well, it's an emergency box of kittens, right? You just gotta use it for the test, and so you always have a rotating box of kittens.
Yeah, you gotta replenish it pretty fast. Cats grow up pretty quick.
Just saying, that's what it is. They're prepared parents.
Very, very prepared. So he had a bunch of different pads for her, and so, she's got that figured out.
Oh, man. I feel like that captured, like, the angsty awkwardness frequently in this film. That's a good point. Where, like, the period thing's really awkward. I clearly don't actually know that, but from women I have talked to and all of that, it's a real awkward first experience and this whole deal and figuring that out. And for your mother to, like, show up and be like, you forgot your pads, and just like, oh,
well,
man.
that was the part that made it. I was kind of liking her mom, and then that happened, and I was like, oh, man. That was... Why would you ever do that? I feel like it wasn't even that awkward when it's just at home. But when you go to school, to this girl's school, and in front of the entire class, it's like, whew, that's rough.
After you already basically shot her social life.
Yeah, earlier with Devin. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's something. It really is. It's weird.
I know that actually made a lot of people angry with the pads because it was depicting, like, a period in a kid's film. I thought that it's pretty stupid. I don't know what there's to be mad at, but people get mad at it.
Oh, I don't know. It's pretty fleeting. I don't really know why I would be angry about that. Like, if I had a child, I don't know that I would be angry if this child saw that.
Yeah, I remember there just being comments from, like, some mothers or whatever, being like, oh, how am I supposed to explain this to my 8-year-old boy or whatever? And
you pull out your pad, your tampons, your Diva cup, anything that you use, whatever, and you explain it. It's not a difficult concept.
Yeah, I'm like, the kid's gotta learn eventually. I don't really see what the problem is by explaining it. It's not that big a deal. But it turned off a lot of people to this film.
Maybe they were just already turned off by the lack of good visuals.
It could be. It could be something that they just chose to latch on to.
I don't know. I mean, I think that was non-offensible.
I agree.
It was there. Her mother, decided that social life is not important. She's going to shoot the social life down.
I mean, that's one way to do it.
That's a bad way to do it. That's something. But yeah, I think a lot of times, like, the awkwardness of them as teenagers showed through pretty well. Right. I think that is the best part of this film. Like, that's what it does best.
I think it captures the heart of a 13-year-old girl, as far as I could know.
We were magical girls for a short period of time.
Yeah,
so.
but we weren't 13.
We might have been. I don't know what age we were.
I still had a beard. It was a whole thing.
Oh, that's bad. Anyway.
But I feel like it captures the spirit of that pretty well. You got the crushes. That makes sense. You like the boy band. You're having problems with your parents. Yeah, that all makes plenty of sense. The part about turning into a panda, not too relatable. I don't really do that. I may turn into a magical girl, but a panda's too far.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually thinking when we were watching this movie, I had forgot that she even turned into a panda. I felt like it took so long that when it happened, I was like, oh yeah, that is what this film is about. I had started to lose the plot. I was like, I don't even know what we're doing anymore.
No, I was kind of waiting for it. It didn't take that long, I didn't feel like. But this film felt very long.
It did feel long.
Like, it's an hour 40. That's a decent length children's movie.
It felt like 2 hours to me.
But it felt at least 2.5. It just kind of kept dragging. And I didn't have a clear idea of what our resolution was going to be. Like, I thought we'd get to the ceremony and it's not going to go right for whatever reason. She's going to want to keep the panda thing. That's fine. But the ritual thing's introduced pretty late, and so I didn't really know where we were going until that point. But then it kind of subverts my expectations, which is good for it. Because then her mother, has her thing break open. Because I thought the ritual rule was like, it's a cure, it went away. And you don't really understand how it works until it does break.
Oh, no. I as soon as I saw her necklace after the explanation, I was like, oh, okay, that's going to break. And she'll turn into it.
Oh, no, it's not. I didn't get there.
Yeah, no. Because it does like a close-up shot of her necklace as she's explaining it, or like right after. Or no, she shows the necklace, right? As like that's her.
Yeah.
Her thing. And I was like, okay, so this is like a sealed thing if that breaks. I didn't necessarily know that she would, but I kind of got the feeling that it wasn't truly like permanently excised. It was just sealed.
Oh, I took it as the rule was, boom, it's gone, it's done, right?
Yeah, no.
But I was wrong, very clearly. You were right here. Good on you.
It just felt like an anime at that point. I was like, oh, okay, it's Naruto. Great.
It had some very anime weirdness to it, but it couldn't really deliver because the art style is not that, and it didn't fully commit to a lot of it, and I don't know, it knew basically what it wanted to be, but it definitely has some moments that didn't quite fit and were a little weird.
It's definitely kind of an odd film. But is there a moment you really like?
I don't know that I have any strong feelings one way or the other on any point in this film.
I was struggling, and I was like, what is something I actually liked? You know what my favorite part was in this film?
Let's hear it.
Is when the Armageddon fight's over, things are going back to normal, and then the mom's scribbling in the goal for the funds, and then it keeps going up, and it shows it's like a lot of money that she owes. I thought that was kind of funny. I thought that was the best part.
It is a very nice detail, like that things were consistent. She's seen on the news as a panda, and that's a big deal. And like, then you go and, she has the funds. She's got to raise her own funds and do all these things that are real, and you got to keep it kind of secret. And, it gets destroyed and it's not magically fixed. Like, you got to raise the funds and make it work. And it all made sense, right? It was aware that things happened in this world, and it was a lot more grounded than a lot of children's films.
I liked it exactly because it was self-aware in that moment that you would owe a lot of money if you just went and destroyed a stadium. Just absolutely destroyed it. And I was like, thank God. Because I was thinking the entire time, I was like, this is going to cost this family a lot of money. Because they're on the news. Everybody knows they can turn into a panda, which is already kind of crazy. But then you just go and destroy this place. You're going to have to pay for that. And then it showed it. And I was like, oh, nice. I like that.
It's a good tie-in, right? It works pretty well.
Did you like the fight itself?
It was kind of boring.
That's what I thought. I was like, man, this is so underwhelming.
Like, I kind of like that she figures out that she can, like, zip around by transforming herself. And that's kind of cool. But then I'm just like, okay, I don't really feel like this did anything. You headbutted her. And some reason that headbutt knocks her out. But you're perfectly fine. All right.
Man, I'm telling you, I see so much Naruto in this now that we're talking. It's pretty funny.
That's fair. I think it definitely has some anime influence in there. For sure.
And then, yeah, all of her aunts, the really important aunts that we...
And her grandmother.
And her grandmother. All turn into a panda to do what? Drag her into the circle. Okay. That was really boring. Like, okay. And then, like, the boy band starts singing with the chant. And you know it's happening because they see him over there. And it's like, all right, okay. Let's just get on with it.
I like that, the boy band had to come in and sing, and they had to, deal with everybody, like, singing and channeling into the circle. Like, it was a nice little tie, and it was very predictable. You knew it was happening. But I kind of liked it. I'm really confused, though, on the rules of the panda game here. The scar is retained for her grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Right, which is a nice touch, but it's like, I don't understand. And why is May's mother so big? Why is she Godzilla of the panda world? Like, I
don't know.
I don't understand. And I just kind of, like, didn't really think that the comment about her being bigger was really an important detail. I was like, whatever, who cares? And then she's like, bro.
She was straight up Godzilla. It's weird. May's transformation into the panda was smaller than all of her aunts and her grandma, who were bigger. And I'm like, okay, so is this like as you get older and you grow up, your panda version gets a bit bigger too?
No.
So May just got the short end of the stick.
She got the short end of the stick because her mother took like 3/4 of the stick and left May with 1/4.
I feel like it's 9/10.
Maybe it's 9/10.
It was just left the crumbs for her daughter. It was like, here you go. Yeah, I guess I'll pass that on. I was like, okay.
I don't know. It's a weird thing. There's a lot of weird things about it. I went into some really bad spots in thinking about how the panda system worked, though.
I was also curious if, like, is all the progeny in this line female? Because he didn't have any uncles. It was just all aunts.
The uncles didn't need to be there.
I guess, but I didn't know if this was like the women in this family generally only produce women. I didn't really know.
I don't know. There's a lot of weirdness to it.
I just feel like I like the idea of like an ancestral history and like a lineage. And I felt like we could have done a little bit more with that. It could have been kind of cool. But like, oh wow, 300 years ago you had this ancestor. She was a big panda, and then this one over here was like a tiny little one, but she was really good at doing this. Like, you could have done something kind of interesting with that, like a history of different pandas. Or is like the mom, Ming, the only like exception, and she's the only one that gotta be Godzilla? I just didn't understand.
I think you could have done like you start way back there and like, this woman turns into a panda and defends her village, right? And then we kind of fast forward through random women being pandas, doing things. And then you start a monologue somewhere in there from May or Ming, right? And it explains it so you as the viewer know what's up. And then you get to, May.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know. And I think that would have been a more interesting deal because the reveal isn't really that great, right?
Yeah, it just kind of happens.
It's kind of jacked that, like, you as a parent never decided this was important. You never thought, one day, you're going to turn into a panda. Like, maybe your child thinks that's ridiculous, and they're like, nah, you're just screwing with me, like, haha, funny joke. But you've had that conversation, and the moment it does happen, your child's like, oh, dang, I am a panda. And I feel like it makes that freak out a little bit less ridiculous, right? It makes it maybe a little better. Because you're as a child, you don't know what's up. Your mother's convinced you're on your period. She shot your social life in like 12 hours. She said nothing. 2 events. Boom. And you're like freaking out. You end up, losing control at school. You think you're going to be like, things are going really bad now. Because now it's getting worse. And your heightened emotions are making it worse. You got to run home. You think your parents are going to disown you, I feel like. Like, a lot of the tragedy that, spirals out of itself could have nicely been, oh crap, I'm a panda. Well, My mother said I would turn into a panda. This is crazy.
Yeah, then you could call her in and be like, hey, this thing happened like you said it would. Whoa. You could have contained a lot.
Yeah, and I think it would have been a better call.
Probably would have been the more responsible idea. But then you wouldn't get a great movie. And she was thinking about that.
I'm glad that you have decided it's a great movie.
Yeah, someone's got to like it. Now, I think it's important we talk about May's friends.
Mm-hmm.
Her 3 compadres.
Yeah. Now, we haven't discussed what Yellow Girl's name is.
Yellow Girl.
Yeah.
Priya.
Priya. Well, since we're already on Priya, we'll talk about Priya. Priya is, I don't know. I don't really understand. Like, I feel like I thought she was supposed to be kind of like the goth girl.
Goth?
Like, with her attitude. Kind of like the I don't care. But then she never really was that. She just kind of said the things everybody else said in a very flat, boring tone.
Yeah, she was super monotone.
But I feel like that's what they were going for, right?
I didn't think goth, not with that, like, bushy, curly hair.
Okay, I'm not saying visually. I'm saying simply on the auditory.
Oh, that's...
Right? It was a weird thing, and I didn't really get it, and she makes friends with that, random goth girl. The actual visual goth girl.
She does, yeah.
Right? So that's my deal. Like, I feel like she was supposed to kind of be that, but she really wasn't, and I was really confused what she was supposed to be.
I thought she was just the practical one. She had the deodorant prepared. She had the pad to bring over to her friend's house. She just seemed like, oh, I'm responsible and monotone. Like,
Yeah,
I'm the adult.
Why does monotone have to be responsible here?
I don't know why. It has to be. But that's what it was to me. That's what I thought.
Okay, I don't know.
But that was about all to her character, and I thought, okay, you're just there. All right.
But then we get Abby. Abby's my good friend.
Good old Abby.
Because Abby is basically a 5-year-old at all times. And I was so jarred. As I already discussed, I just feel like she was just so weird.
Well, her design. But the way she talked, she was like, she got so angry. Oh, I'm so excited. Like, okay, why did you do that? That was just annoying.
But, like, she was 5. I'm telling you. And the overall thing...
Oh, the overalls, yeah, I was like...
It wasn't working.
I don't remember that being trendy in 2002, but maybe it was.
It was, okay? You gotta get a hold of yourself. It was trendy in 2002.
It's been a while. I don't remember that time too super well. But yeah, the overalls were something. Yes, I just didn't want her to talk because I was like, please stop. Oh my god, stop screaming everything. You're annoying. And then you had Miriam, which seemed like to be the closest friend. But her braces threw me off.
Her design was weird to me in total. Like, she kind of towered over everybody and kind of a weird voice direction. And
she seemed very masculine, actually.
I think she was definitely supposed to be kind of the tomboy or maybe like a trans type person or something. I don't really know. I mean, I think the film tried to be very diverse at all times. Like, the random people she saw, I don't think any of them were white. A lot of them were, of different races, and there was a lot of different accents going on.
You had the guard that was clearly of Middle Eastern descent.
Yeah, which is fine. I don't feel like it was like thrown in my face and weird. No. Because it was like diverse everywhere. If it was like, well, we made sure the main 4 people are diverse.
And then everybody
else was like, well, everybody else is white except her family or something weird like that.
It's largely why I kind of thought it felt like San Francisco. It's like, oh, this seems like a really diverse place.
Maybe Toronto's really diverse. I don't actually know.
I don't know. But now, to be honest, when I think of Canada, I don't really know how diverse they are. I just have no idea. Like, I assume they're probably pretty close. I mean, they're basically America. But
they have a decent amount of diversity. They bring in a lot of immigrants. They're pretty big on that, or at least they were. I don't know if they still are.
Yeah, so maybe that's really common over there, and especially in the major cities. But Miriam, she was, she was the best gal.
I don't know that she was the best. None of them were great.
Well, I meant like she was the one that was closest, I feel like, to May. Like, they had the best connection. But I also feel like she wasn't that... I don't know, she didn't feel like the best, like a great friend to me. Like, I didn't get the feeling of like, oh yeah, these guys, they're tight BFFs. I just kind of felt like, oh, okay, we're friends and we're in a group and you're cool. I don't know.
I feel like the disconnect might just be being a man, right? Because male and female friendships are radically different. And I feel like maybe they really do convey that they're like BFF good friends for that age range. But we as men don't get that. I don't know. It's also a very short slice of her life.
That's true. It's really hard to say. Clearly, we're not the target for this movie, but I'm trying to understand it as best as I can. But it can only go so far.
That's fair. You got anything else you need to say about the story? Like, we kind of hit all the major points here. You got any other points you want to bring up here?
Oh, was there anything that, honestly, I feel like it's largely forgettable.
I guess we can talk about the campaigning thing. She, like, kind of, sells her panda self out. I don't know. It was industrious, and it made sense, but I was also just kind of like, it was also kind of weird, a little bit.
What made it weird to me was how everybody just accepted so naturally, like, oh, you can turn into a panda? That's so cool. Not at all really weird and really crazy and totally outside this world. But you know what? Maybe that's just the 13 life. But when I was 13, I feel like if you had turned into a panda, I would have been pretty terrified.
It's definitely something that makes more sense if they were like 8 to 10.
Yeah, I could see that.
If they were just a few years younger and they were like, "Oh man, a panda." Now, my deal is like everybody's a good secret keeper.
Yeah, clearly.
Cuz nobody said anything to their parents or anything. Also, the government isn't pointing around cuz they're in Canada, not America, where we would show up and like shoot this panda down. Send in the military the moment there's a panda jumping from roof to roof on the news. No.
Jet. Yeah.
No. But the Canadians are way nicer than we are.
That's true.
They're like, oh yeah, panda girl. Or panda? They don't know it's female, I guess. Panda. Jumping around? We will allow the panda to live.
Yeah, that's okay. You let the moose, however it's actually said in a proper term, roam around. I hear they got those walking down all the streets.
That's a legit thing. I read an article recently of someone who's like moved up to Alaska. And it was talking about how, like, the moose, like, you just respect the moose. Like,
that makes sense.
If they're wandering around, you stop traffic and you wait for them because it's just not worth it's not worth the damage. It's not worth your time.
Yeah.
Like, you just be patient.
Yeah, you just let them do what they want because they'll win.
So I assume Canada is in the same sphere, basically.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe not in major cities like Toronto and stuff, but...
Maybe that's why they're so kind over there.
Because they're nicer to animals?
Because the animals rule them. And so they have to, like, take that inward and just be kind individuals.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're starting to understand Canadian culture pretty well.
I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty good expert on the Canadians in general.
Yeah. Maybe we should make a trip up there and confirm all of our theories.
Well, only one of us can get there right now.
Yeah. You got the card to get us in, and I got the car to drive us there. So we'll be alright.
I think you're assuming the Canadians are a little too nice. And the Americans will not be nice on the way back when you don't have a passport.
I got a driver's license, good enough.
Mm-hmm. Well, despite the fact that it kind of sounds like we're smuggling people or bad things into Canada now, I don't have anything else to say about the story of Turning Red. Remember, that's what we were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you brought up the industrialness of them. But there was also kind of some weird stuff going on with the Red Panda transformation. Why was she always swinging her butt around?
She was dancing.
This was no dance of 2002. It just made me think, like, this is the dance that was created in 2013, 2014, and that it was taking place in 2002. Although I actually kind of feel like there was a couple things with, like, some of the dialogue, especially there at the intro, where I'm like, this doesn't feel like 2002. This feels like this is 2018-ish. And now we're in 2002. It didn't feel like it fit very well with its period of time.
The time period thing was decent, but it was not flawless by any stretch. It definitely had a lot of weird things. There was definitely something where they list a bunch of things or something, and I was like, yeah, but I don't know that those things existed in 2002. I don't remember what they were, though. But, like, they have the CDs, and the little Tamagotchi thing.
Yeah, those fit.
And their cell phones.
They were flip phones. I thought that was funny.
Like those all fit pretty decently, but yeah, it didn't always fit very well.
Yeah. It just kind of took me out.
It's a kids movie. The kids will not be paying that much attention. The kids won't remember that it's taking place in 2002.
I have to ask. It says it in the intro, and it doesn't say it. It just shows it. And I saw the number, and then I just erased that from my mind. I was like, yep, that's not important.
You would, too.
Yeah.
You would. Shunning the numbers.
Yeah. Now, I got a quiz for you. Can you name any of the 4-town group? Any of their names?
Yes.
Let's hear it.
There is 4-town 1. 4-town 2.
Uh-huh.
4-town 3. We got 4-town. And we have 4-town 5.
I see.
I don't remember their names. I don't care. They said them at one point. Maybe twice.
They were Robert, Jesse, Aaron Z, Aaron T, and Tay.
Man, if I had just remembered Aaron, I could have got 2.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Bit of 40% right there.
Man.
Better than 0.
It was a lot better.
Yeah, so I failed that. You got any other great questions you wanna make me look like a failure about over here?
How did you feel about the music? Did you think it fit the movie? I understand that it sounds like a boy band, sure. But did you think, yeah, this song feels good in this moment?
The mood music of it was not good, generally, except their little, ritual chant thing.
Mm-hmm.
That worked pretty well.
I like the chant.
Well, it worked well the first time, when they're in their, shrine.
Yeah.
And it does good there, but other than that, no. The mood music is not very good. Yeah, when they're at the concert, yeah, it fits. That mood works.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of the boy band music being relevant, which is not frequent, no, it doesn't work very well. There's a lot of weird voice direction. Their auditory department is not great.
I'm still convinced one of the lines was, "We're making paper like it's origami." And I don't necessarily know that that's true, but I swear that's what I heard, and I just thought, wow, what a line.
It's not good, but it sounds like a pop song lyric. It straight up sounds like a pop song lyric.
It was something.
The one line was like origami. I just don't know what everything else was.
Yeah, I like my version. I'm gonna stick to it being what it definitely was.
You want to sing that for us?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't have the boy band, voice. I'm more of an opera singer.
You possess neither skill in the slightest, but you can lie, I guess. As per normal, like the heathen you are.
It is normal.
Now, since you are a heathen, I have a very important question I need you to answer for me about this.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. The panda transformation happens with strong emotion.
Yeah.
When May has sexual relations with someone, is she turning into a panda?
Definitely the first time.
Or is it maybe she controls herself and then she orgasms and then she, turns into a panda? That'd be some weird nonsense, let me tell you. I don't feel like we thought out keeping the panda.
Maybe she's got a really good head on. She can really control her emotions just that good.
Okay, maybe she can. I don't know. But I went there and I was like, this is such a bad... Why am I here?
Why did you go? I did not go there.
Why am I walking through this door? I don't know.
That's a dangerous door to walk
So
through.
I had to share that with you as well.
Yeah, okay.
Because you're a heathen.
Yeah.
And I had to shed my little heathen
I can handle
there.
it. I can handle it. It's fine.
I don't really have anything else to say about this whole film.
Yeah, I feel like I've covered my bases. It was a film.
Well, been a good, nice little pleasure. We hope that this brought you guys some pleasure. And we now invite you to have at us. We'd like if you comment, you subscribe, leave some suggestions, share this with people. We got our social media links in the description and all that wonderfulness.
And of course, there's one more thing you can do for us. You can inherit your own transformation into the beast of your choosing. Personally, I'm thinking I'd turn into a dragon. That sounds like it's something I need to do. How about you?
Well, it's very clearly the only real option.
A seal. All right.
A seal?
Yeah, what's wrong with seals?
They're not a tiger. That's the problem. A tiger is the only option.
Okay, a tiger. Okay, I see.
What a failure I cannot understand right now.
All right, well, you guys can tell us what you're going to turn into, and while you're transformed, please run around the city. If you're in Toronto, especially there, anywhere in Canada especially, we need to talk to some Canadians, confirm our theories, and you spread the word.
You just have a nice little following like May did, and then you tell them where your inspiration came from. Unless you get in trouble. And then we want no credit for that. You're all on your own.
If you're captured by the government because they're really confused about what you're doing, it wasn't us.
Yeah, that's exactly where we are. You know, it's about your pleasure, but it's for our benefit. So
Exactly.
All right. Well, before we dig this hole that much further, let's hear your score.
I'm just gonna be even-handed here and give it a 5.
I'm giving this a 5.5 out of 10.
Have at us.